All right, so today we want to look at Python classes. And Python classes, this is a concept that is being used in object-oriented programming to allow us write reusable code. Now, of course, classes help us to write reusable code, and this is when we talk about the concept of object-oriented programming. It's hard really to achieve it if you don't have classes within as a tool to help you achieve that. Now, in today's video, we want to demonstrate how do we write classes in Python and what is really going on with an example. So without wasting much time, let's dive into the code. So if we write a class and we will give this class the name person. Okay, so we can, I don't like this. I think I'll just disconnect my internet. This is from GitHub Copilot. Okay, yes. So, okay, maybe it will go. I don't know how to reject this. I really don't intend to use Copilot here. So we define. So we have the class, but if you're coming from languages like C++ and Java, you know things like constructor and then class methods. Now, from languages like C++, Java, we must have a constructor sometimes, not necessarily always, but at least we must define a constructor for our program. And we want to do that. And in Python, how do you declare a constructor? With this special method called the dunder init method. And we look at that keyword self. It's not really keyword, but it is being used conventionally, and it is turning out to be a conventional thing or a keyword, but it's a user-defined word. We can use any other word rather than self. So we can say self, self.age equaling to age. And literally what we are saying that we are taking a parameter, the word, what this first keyword is telling us, or this first text or parameter is telling us that we want to bind this parameter to the creation of this class. We will see this when we talk about class instantiation, that you want to create age and put it to the class person, and like you sort of want to bind it. We also want to say self.name. We want to give this person a name when they are being created. And that's what we want to start with. So now what we've just done is we have created a class and its constructor. What does the constructor do? When the class is called or when the class is created, this constructor runs automatically to create an example of that class, which we call class instantiation. I hope that makes sense. Now, we want to give some methods some methods to this class such that it can perform certain things. And we can define a method, anything, depends on what your class you want it to do. It could be a class that is going to manage a network or to make network calls. So in this case, we want to form a method called greet. Yes, Copilot was right. And this greet sometimes will take the word self, but as a rule of thumb, always give the word self to your method. There are times when you don't need to, and we're going to see that. When do you use self and when do you you don't use it or you don't need it? So greet self, and we want to create a function that greets. You can do anything here. You want it to return or to print something to the screen, and you want to say hello, my name. I don't know whether this is really greeting, but sounds like introduction. Hello, my name is the name itself. So how do we grab the name? We grab the name that is being created by the class by using the keyword self.name. If you write Django code, you will see how this is being used in Django classes when you want to write custom functions within Django models and also in serializers. And if you stay on this channel, you will be seeing a lot of this. So self.name and I am, then we grab the name the age, and I am dash years old. So it's sort of like an introduction function, not really greet. So we have these two, we have the function or the method within the class, but I want to talk about the self keyword again briefly. We use the word self in order to allow us bind parameters within a class to the class instantiation itself. So the self keyword, remember that it is just a user-defined word. This self can be anything. It can be CLS. And I can assure you our code will run. So depending on what you want, CLS and CLS here. So we need to test our code here in the miniature version it is. So there is what we call a user-defined function. So we want to define a function called main, and we define this function main as a place where we want to define our logic from, or user-defined logic. So what is the first thing that we want to do? We want to create the instance of the class, and we can say person1 maybe equals to person, and we are creating a person or an instance of that class. And we can create a person called Alice, and we subject them to the age of 30, or we give them the age of 30. So we want to print out something. We want to print out how person1 does the introduction. Okay, so with that, we should be able to run. But how do we run? We still need to create an entry point for our code. Just like in C++, where you have the main function, the same goes for Go. So we want to define that entry point where the interpreter enters our code. So this is defined in Python by using if __ name _ equals to, we open quotes, and we define this _ main _. So you put double colons, and then you call the main function, and by this this should run. But also another disclaimer, the main function is also a user-defined function, so it can take on anything. It could be main1 or main2. So main in Python is a user-defined function, and it should be able to take on any other name. So let's call the interpreter by using Python, and then we run main, and we see. So Python 3, okay, Python 3 main dot that. So we get a syntax error there. That's obvious. We do this again, and we get CLS is okay. We have this. We need to change that. Yeah, it's good to see these errors. Okay, again, hello, my name is Alice, and I am 30 years old. So we have looked at the use of the self or the CLS word. We are going to change back this CLS word to self because we want to remain to the conventions, but we can see how to define classes in Python. And that's all I wanted to introduce to you in this video. And if you like the video, please leave a like, leave a comment, and see you in the next video, still about classes as we dive deeper. Bye-bye.